Hey folks, what's happening, man? We got another great episode for you. Brothers Dempsey coming at you live from the Brothers Dempsey kitchen.
Coming at you live.
What do you got tonight, brother?
It's going to be a spicy one.
Ooh, it's a spicy night.
It's I don't want to say it's a hot sauce special or anything like that, but
it could be.
That's the prop for the night, and
it is.
We have a spicy selection on our hands. This is part of the Sculpin series from Ballast Point, which, again, I think you're probably familiar if you've been in the crafting your beers.
Yeah.
This is the Habanero Sculpin.
Ooh, habanero.
Habanero, clocks in at 7%. I think the other Sculpins are about that same.
Yeah, 7.2, 7 point whatever.
Like 7s.
Yeah.
Of course, there's the grapefruit. There's the original West Coast IPA.
That's great.
You
we'll
know,
get into that.
Very, just delicious. You know, the Sculpin on its own is great.
Yeah. Beer lovers will remember, like, back in the day, Sculpin was like, Sculpin, wow. And, you know, Sculpin was like the standard IPA, I think, for most people. There's a couple big name IPAs, but when you think about like top notch IPAs in the country, Sculpin's the big one. And then I guess they figured, how are we gonna improve on this? You know, let's add something to it, the grapefruit, and let's do a little habanero. And so we both had the regular, which is fabulous, the grapefruit, which is super fabulous.
Yeah,
I don't think anyone agrees with that, or no one disagrees with that. And but the habanero has been out for a long time, and we've yet to try it, both of us, which is hard to believe because my sister, brother-in-law, everyone I know that likes beer has tried the habanero, and we've never.
Yeah, they're a little. They're becoming a little more readily available. The Ballast Point stuff, and even themselves have kind of changed some of their the production of some of them from 22-ounce bottles into 12 ounces. I think Sea Monster was one that got that treatment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the one with the scalp. What the hell's that one?
Victory at Sea.
Victory at Sea.
Yeah.
Maybe Victory at Sea. Maybe they both are.
Yeah, Ballast Point's a really weird brewery for me because, like, when I first had my first tastings of Ballast Point, have always been heavy, dark, kind of crazy beers, and like I never really knew. And here they come to be famous for their hoppy, not light, but I mean they're always heavy alcohol, I think.
Yeah.
They're light kind of IPA kind of beers, like been their claim to fame. And I always thought, I'm like, oh my god, like, this is the first dark beer I've ever had that I really, really, really loved. And here they are, they have an IPA, which is freaking just as amazing. So, all around, really good brewery.
Very good. Very good stuff. Check them out.
We love it. We're excited about it. We saw this and a couple singles here. We grabbed them. We're like, oh, we're going to do it tonight. We have to.
Yeah, it was calling our names, and it's kind of long overdue.
What's the biggest, before we drink it, which we will soon, and this is the fun part about drinking this beer, that anyone in the beer industry knows, the funnest part about drinking this particular beer is what?
Well, it says it right on the bottom. It's kind of small and italicized.
Yeah, it's really hard to see.
It says, heat may vary.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing, it's got the spice of the pepper, the habanero, but they really can't control it from, you know,
I guess in the
big
it just kind of floats around, I guess, in there, and then wherever it ends up in the final bottle, it just is where it is.
Yeah, so some are hotter than others.
Yeah.
I've never been a huge fan of pepper beer, heat beer.
Me neither, dude.
They're sometimes when I've had some really complex beers that have that element to it. I know the one Omega.
Yeah, it's a nice little
Game of Thrones one that had a heat element to it.
Yeah.
It wasn't bad, but for the most part, I just don't. I'm not a huge fan. But
and I think to me, anticipation-wise, this is one where like you're kind of, a lot of beers are hoping this adds a little nice spicy element to the beer, but to me, for this one, I'm kind of hoping like it is a hot one because like you've had this, you've had it in grapefruit form, you've had it in regular form. You kind of want like a hot ass beer, so you know. Like I think people like when they drink this beer, they're hoping like, let me get a hot one and just see what the hell it does. You know what I mean? That's what I'm hoping. So we'll see.
Yeah. Could be super spice.
But apparently, I mean, this is the real deal. Like I said, we've had habanero beers before, and they were like nothing that crazy. But this one apparently can get pretty crazy hot, or it can get pretty crazy normal. And even our beers alone that we're drinking tonight one could be hotter than the other.
Smells Sculpy.
Mine smells like Sculpin. Smells like really sunny, solid IPA.
That's good shit.
I'm not getting an initial heat. Nostril test. But,
I'm sorry, there's something about, I mean...
I know, dude, seriously, I know. This beer really has a great freaking smell to it, though. It really does. Like, I think that's what just like sucks people in. I haven't had Sculpin in a while, and I'm a big Hop Notch fan.
Good.
And I'm a big, what's the other big one? And Fresh Squeeze. Deschutes, Hop Notch, and probably this Sculpin are probably my 3 top IPAs of anything on the market. Although I heard that the Blind Pig or whatever is that one. That was supposed to be pretty awesome.
Russian River.
Yeah, Russian River.
Yeah, they do the same guys do the Pliny Elder and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's a big one too. And obviously Heady Topper, but that's double IPA. So as far as a single IPA style, there's like 3 or 4. Everyone has their top 5, and this one is definitely in the top 3. I would say.
Elysian Manic stuff. I like all those.
Maybe we're talking because we're afraid to drink it, but we're just
here it goes.
Yeah, cheers, dude, down the throat. Oh, a little bit. All right, a little bit more. Not crazy, but it's hot though. It's got some heat to it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all over the back now.
Yeah. It's all that's down the throat a little bit. Oh wow. But you know what? It's amazing how good this beer is with that heat though. It's amazing. And this is, I would say. All right, if you had to rate your let's have another taste. We're going to rate our spice level from 1 to 10. I'm sorry, that's fucking good though. It's fucking good.
Steve's a little more
a spice fanatic, I guess.
Yeah. He's all about the spiciness. I like it.
And you know what? Having said that, I love spice, but habanero is always like habanero is kind of the extended heat for me. I'm not a big ghost kind of guy. Like I don't want to go to the point where like I'm done.
Well, I think my tolerance of heat is probably lower than yours.
Yeah, I would say that for sure.
I think that's safe to say.
And this is pretty hot, but I tell you what, it's got the juices flowing. I would say for me, I think knowing how hot habanero peppers can be, I think this is a hot batch though. I would say I don't know how hot they want to make the beer though. You know what I mean? But I would say for me, this is probably a 6. I would say this is a 6. It's not.
Really?
It's not. It's not a crazy burn. It's not a 7 or an 8. It's not a 9 or 10 by no means. But to me, honestly, this taste of beer that I've had is the perfect amount of heat for the IPA flavor, for the hop balance and the beer balance that you get, and the spice. To me, this is a perfect habanero taste for beer for me, because it's not way so hot that it's going to like overwhelm me, where I'm going to be like, oh my god, it's so hot I can't even taste the beer. This is just hot enough on the end. You get that initial beautiful burst of that Sculpin flavor and that taste, and then the habanero almost just accompanies it down your throat, and it's like it's an extension of the taste. Because like so many times you're trying to place a beer's taste in your taste buds, right? You get the front and the this like extends that taste down your throat to that heat element where it's like wow, like right now it's like right here in my esophagus.
I'm getting there. It's definitely all,
and it's hot.
there.
All right, so that's my tirade.
So
anyway,
for me, it's higher than I thought it was going to be. It's even almost to the point where enough on your lips will get your lip tingling.
It's there, dude. It's there.
And it's something about I don't know if it's the heat or capsaicin or whatever.
It's so good though.
It almost has an addictive quality to it, where you want more heat.
Yeah.
But the heat lasts well beyond sips.
Yeah. It's almost right.
It's still here. I could not take a sip probably.
It's like I understand. You want that taste of the hot sauce, but you don't want that heat to kill you every time you want to taste it. It's crazy.
This is like a few minute lasting heat. And I'm surprised. It's definitely 6-7 range for me.
Yeah, this is
it's pretty spicy.
This is pretty spicy. This and now that I'm at the second sip, dude, it's let's switch and see if anyone's hot together.
All right. Well, it's probably gonna be hard to tell unless there's.
I don't know. Well, we'll see though.
Because we've already had some. Now it's like.
But the after effect though was pretty amazing. Yeah, it's probably right up there. I don't know. Yours might be hotter than mine now.
I think it might be.
I think yours is hotter than mine. Yeah, yours is definitely hotter than mine. That's why I said it's around a 6. I'm surprised you gave this around a 6.
We should have done a half.
Yeah, we should have done like but it's hard. Like you said, oh wow, I'm getting a heavy burn now. Heavy burn on the back end. It's all back end burn.
It's not. I mean, it's
not unpleasant though. It's nice.
It's
if you like spice, if you like Cajun spice, if you like a hot chili. I'm not going to say this is going to kill you.
No, it's almost a wasabi.
Yeah, it's not a hot wing kind of kill. It's just like a nice even mouthfeel. It's a mouthfeel that goes into a throat feel to me. And like, if any beer ever had a throat feel, this beer has it. Honestly, like if you think about the extension of the mouthfeel, that's what I'm thinking about when I drink this beer. Is how
I wonder what session in this would be like.
It's genius in a beer though. This is genius. This is genius for beer tasters because it extends that tasting limit. To me, it extends it beyond. Like to me, I'm getting a taste element beyond, and it's not just heat. Like if it was just like hot beer, I've had chili beers, I've had pepper beers, like, we've all had those kind of beers. But to me, this habanero quality in this beer extends a tasting element beyond your normal kind of spice range in a beer, and to me that's genius.
You get a little bit of that pepper high from it, you know.
Yeah, and like I'm breathing it in, and it's almost like a mentholating kind of heat going on, and it's nice. I'm telling you what, it's friggin' nice. Well done.
You can feel it in your gut too.
Yeah, I haven't gotten there yet.
I know. Yeah,
I definitely got it right here though. Side of my tongues are friggin' on fire. They're aflame. They are aflame.
Yeah, back of my tongue and the surrounding, right around the esophagus is.
Now I venture to say, we got these bottles. As I drink some more. And as we say, honestly, as we're sitting here talking about how hot this beer is, it's enjoyably drinkable too. I think. I mean, I could drink a shitload of this. And
I'm wondering if I could.
I could. I mean, I'm not a shitload. I mean, like at a tasting, I could drink at least 2 of these. I'm not saying like
Oh yeah, well.
You're not gonna down a 6-pack of this shit.
That's what I was thinking. If I was to get it, I mean, because normally when I get a 6-pack, it's
I mean, I
the evening, right? So.
You're talking wing challenge, like a guy who would drink a 6-pack of this in like 5 minutes would be like a god, think about that, something like that.
Well, I mean, I don't think it's, who knows? I mean, it gets increasingly hotter or not, maybe, that plays in. I mean, I'm assuming.
It's hot, but it's not like that, it's not that typical, like, if I had a taco with way too much habanero hot sauce on it, I'm like, well, I'm going to stop.
Yeah, but
this is just.
It delivers. This is not like the ghost pepper fries from Wendy's and all the crap.
No, this is definitely the real deal shit.
Hot,
Yeah, it's hot. It's good though. Honestly, this is my favorite Sculpin of them all. Everyone loves the grapefruit. Everyone likes the regular
Now I want like an handicap hot fries beer.
But honestly, yeah.
You're like a cheddar beer.
But honestly, I'm a hot sauce guy, and I like habanero, but I'm a fan of habanero taste and not necessarily habanero heat. And I'm not necessarily getting the habanero taste that you would get, but
it's heat. It's not a pepper taste.
And it is heat, but you know what? The heat goes so well with this beer.
I
can't explain.
Yeah, it's either there's roasted peppers in this.
It's hard to even explain how well the heat goes with this beer. Do you find like it's almost intertwined beautifully with the taste? I mean, it's almost a natural progression.
I like it much better in this setting. Versus some of the other heat beers that I had that were in different styles. A lot of darker beers I had that were kind of.
God, this is hot and it's good. It's fucking good.
Spiked up with the heat. I haven't really had too many crisp, refreshing IPA type beers with heat. This is probably one of my first.
It's hot. This is a hot batch.
I'm trying to think of some of the other hot beers I had. Mostly weren't. I don't think they were IPAs. I don't think they were even pale ales or anything like that.
I'm ready for like a shot of blue cheese to chase this shit down with. That's how hot it is. It's pretty hot. You're right, dude. I might be around like the 8 range now. It's definitely I don't know. 6 or 7. Yeah, it's not insane.
Because it doesn't last all that. Like I just went.
Well, the more you sit, the more it lasts. So
right. I went I did like a couple swallows without drinking just to see if my saliva would like kind of knock it out.
Get some bread.
And it did. It's definitely, this is something.
But the color's beautiful. I mean, the head, it's and that's the thing. Like, you can add the heat to this beer. I don't think we talked about that enough.
You should break out some cheese and crackers because this would be so good with that.
But I mean, so many beers are gimmick beers in the fact, like, okay, I made a beer and it's a really good beer, right? I made like a lager. Oh, it's a great lager, and now I made a lager with pepper in it. And like, what happens is when you add pepper to a beer or add any kind of flavor added to a beer, it ruins the other qualities of the beer. But to me, this beer is still a great beer. It's got a great color, it's got great head retention, it's got great effervescence, it's still a great, well-crafted beer, and yet it still has that heat factor, and it's just a beautiful beer. How many times have you had a beer that's like a flavored beer? It's like we're going to have a chili pepper beer, we're going to have a friggin' a peanut butter beer, or peanut butter chocolate beer, or a coconut beer, and it doesn't really, you don't feel like you're tasting beer. We talk about that all the time here on the show, like how, yeah, this is great, but it doesn't feel like I'm actually really tasting a beer. To me, this is like I'm tasting a beer, and I had some really hot-ass friggin' cheese with it or something like that. But it's all in one. It's nice.
Like that, not my dad's root beer stuff.
Yeah, this is a real beer. This is a great beer.
It doesn't taste like beer, and that's fine. But
It's one of the best beers I've ever
It
had.
doesn't make it, better
It's
than
awesome.
something that is a little more true to a beer and not just a
Yeah.
alcoholic beverage.
Yeah, if you're a fan of real beer and you're a fan of hot stuff, absolutely,
Boom, get on
absolutely,
it. Get on
do it.
the
I don't care.
Habanero Sculpin.
$17 a 6-pack, maybe 16 or less at some stores, but honestly, it's well worth it.
These were
Buy a 6-pack,
we got
have 2
these-
each, share with your friends,
Yeah.
whatever, dude.
We got these loose for $3 a pop, and it's worth every $3.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I would
rather pay $3 for this than I would for $12 of the bullshit I just had.
I was at the bar last night, and I got a bucket of Miller Lights for the Wednesday night special. I was watching the hockey game, and
It's getting hotter,
it's
dude.
$9.
It's getting hotter.
Yeah,
It's getting hotter.
It was $9 for 4, so that's like $2.25. So I spent $2.25 for Miller Lights out at the
Sucks.
bar. No, that's not too bad. And then I spent $2.75 on, I think they were pint,
Right, Nine.
pounders of Pabst Blue Ribbon. So comparatively, you get a whole lot more for another 25, 75 cents, whatever.
Yeah. This beer's great.
$3.
And you know what?
You're lucky enough to see just one. It's great because really, we don't. It's not a mix and match place. You can't just really pull out.
Props to you, dude, for going to that case. 'Cause they never have anything exotic there.
I know,
They
but
never have anything
you really gotta
exotic.
check it because they've been
This place we
carrying
go
so
to,
much stuff.
they have nothing. And then like you go to like the cold case, the single case, we call it, I guess. The single case, they have nothing. It's like, oh, here's a Bud Light. Have you tried the Bud Light Mango? Have you tried the mixed tail? It's like, no, I don't want that. And I was like, holy shit, Habanero Sculpin singles? Holy fuck. Sign me up.
Yeah, I guess probably a 6-pack crashed or broke. Maybe they had to split it out.
Hopefully, or maybe somebody bought, I don't know, maybe
I
somebody
think we
wanted a
got
couple. Or maybe somebody tried one. Maybe the owner tried one, was like, this is,
Yeah, maybe they said we'll just put the rest in the case. I don't know.
I would venture to say, people that have said this hot, not hot, hot, not hot, this is probably 75% hot, I would say. We got a hot one. We got a great one. I would say we got a perfect one. Because if it wasn't
I
this
wouldn't
hot,
want it any hotter.
no, I wouldn't want it any hotter, and I wouldn't want it any milder. Honestly, this
Yeah.
is like hot salsa. Like what could you say you ate that you would compare this to? Like a really hot salsa? Yeah. Not like a suicide wing. Maybe an extremely hot wing. It's not like hot.
No,
it's
it
not
doesn't
standard
have a
hot.
wing.
It's not standard hot. No, but it doesn't have a wing. It's habanero. It's got its own heat all its own.
Yeah, it's
Um,
and again, it doesn't really change
weird,
the
dude, but
flavor
it's-
of the beer.
I know, that's the crazy thing. It's great.
It's not-
the beer stays intact.
It's just a Sculpin with
It's a beautiful beer, and then it's just like you add some heat to it, but it's like, oh my god, that essence of heat enhances the beer. I've never had a flavored beer any better. Talk about blueberry, fruit, maple syrup, chocolate, any kind of flavor added you want to add to a beer. Have you ever had a better flavored beer? Honestly, I don't think I've had. This beer's delicious.
That's hard to say.
Alright, this beer's delicious.
As far as one with heat that I actually enjoyed, and I felt like it wasn't a perversion of just a beer, like it wasn't just some gimmicky
Yeah, it
thing.
wasn't gimmicky, yeah.
Like this is a great beer that they just
You still get that nice little gullet feel with the Sculpin. You get that
different
nice little Sculpin. Like I've had a Sculpin. This is a Sculpin. This is a great IPA and it's got some heat to it. This is gonna kick my ass later. And that's awesome. Love it.
Cool.
Friggin' love it.
Yeah, go get one.
Probably the best beer I've had taping. Probably my most enjoyable beer I've had taping.
Wow.
Honestly. It's I mean we've had a lot. And this thing is friggin' awesome. But I'm a Heat fan, but this is great, dude.
Yeah, it's a winner.
Totally.
Cool.
Enjoy.
Yeah,
I'm gonna get
thanks.
another one of these. I'm gonna get that 6-pack that's over there. I'm getting it. I don't care.
It's bought. All right, thanks for drinking, folks.
See ya.
Catch you next time.